and Shri many times because in past few conferences he called me Miss and Srimati Kanak Gupta. So that's why he emphasized. Thanks for that. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure being at Willets. Thank you, Ashutosh. Thank you, Chandan, for inviting me once again. So I think the couple of speakers who went ahead of me, they covered a lot of points and very relevant points. So I'm just going to take up from there as to what our thoughts are. We run a chain of schools across the country. We have 25 schools with about 23,000 students studying with us. And all our schools have been in tier 2, tier 3 cities where we come across a lot of first generation learners. And we're very happy and proud to be working in that space because the aspiration level that the kids have in these locations is fantastic. And not to say that aspiration level of kids in big cities are any low, but for us to have that opportunity to make that dent in the education space in the country and in the smaller cities is fairly important as well. When we started this off, the first thing we did was we introspected and we said that let us see as to what we are doing and what needs to be done. And the first thought that collectively came to us was that what Dr. Manna was also talking about, that the mindset and curriculum change is required. And that's what we did. And the reason for that is that we are still living in the past. We are still talking about the curriculum that was set 60, 70 years ago. And this has not been our legacy. It's a legacy that came from outside. And we said, we need to break this. We need to go back to our roots. We need to encourage our kids to be proud of where they're coming from and what we have done as a culture, as a society. And we've seen staggering changes in children. We've understood that the curriculum that was existent, that was brought in here by the British, has a legacy of the industrial times. Today we're talking about Industry 4.0. Today we're talking about 21st century skills. We're talking about decision-making skills. To have those set of skills, a complete mindset change is required, not just at the curriculum level, but across the board. All stakeholders, be it the parent, be it the teachers, be it the children, you need to give them access. I think Ritesh talked about flipped classroom. Yes, you need to give kids the access to actually do that. And you need to make your teachers humble enough to understand that yes, the student comes with a particular knowledge set in the classroom and there can be a discussion in the classroom. I think that's fairly important as well. We understood one more thing, that whilst we talk about creativity and innovation, we don't bring it to the classroom. For example, history happens to be one of my favorite subjects, but I studied history only after I went to college and I went to university. For me, in school, history ended in 1947. What happened after 1947 was not history. No one talked about 71, no one talked about 65, no one talked about Kargil, but we were expected to know all of this come examination time. So somewhere there has been a discord in our setup and as well as what the expectations are. So whilst we talk about creativity and innovation, we don't do that in the real sense in the classroom. We don't even talk about real issues in the classroom. I support a social cause. It's called My Right to Breathe. It's one of the largest air pollution movements that is there in the country. The one thing we found with My Right to Breathe is that no one really wants to talk about, no one wants to do anything about air pollution. We don't want our kids to actually understand the harms of air pollution. Just giving as an example of a real life scenario. We need to make this change. Today, we as educationists, when we come to platforms like these, I think we need to learn from each other. I think we need to discuss more, pick up best practices. And I strongly believe every institution has its own character. I strongly believe every school, every college will build its own personality. Copy-pasting does not work. But what works is trying to understand and internalize processes. So when we come to platforms like these, I strongly recommend, as educationists, we talk to each other about best practices in schools. We talk to each other about what's working well in your school and try to make that difference to the society, because this is not just one school, not just one city or one district that we're talking about. This is a country that we're talking about, and we're talking about a massive change. Slowly but surely, we as educationists would be able to make that change, because we are preparing kids for a generation that we don't know of, for jobs and businesses that have yet not been created, but they'll be facing the world for sure, and we cannot be dependent on an education system that came from 70 years back. I wish you all a great conference, have a lot of fun, interact a lot, and thank you so much.